don't think I can handle that.
Just mid podcast, Sean's like,
Right, well, hey everybody, welcome to Raptors in the Kitchen. It's Tuesday the 10th of February 2015. I'm your host Alan Kerr, live from Google Hangouts. You may have seen on the thing, Paul Faulkner is in Ireland this week, sorry. And since we usually do the podcast at Paul's flat, that's a no-go this week, so we've had to do it over the internet via Google Hangouts. The future! Joining me is Paco Rodriguez.
Hello.
Look at that.
It's mega on that screen here, man.
Yeah.
That's also Tommy Vass right beside him.
Oh wait, no, I think you're fine now.
So if you're listening to the podcast, the audio version of it, this might sound like a crazy thing, but it should be fine. We've got Laura Nimmo as well.
"Hi, internet. Hello."
And Sean Feely from London.
Oh, what's that all about? Hello.
From London of all places.
London has the internet now, so rest easy.
So this is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Yeah. Strange, man.
Yeah. Good to be back.
I like it. But you know what else I like?
What?
Movies?
That's right, I like movies.
Totally gonna say it, yeah.
So later on we'll have a bunch of reviews. We'll have Sean's thoughts on Kingsman and Big Hero 6. Me and Laura's thoughts on The Interview. And Paco and Tommy's thoughts on Jupiter Ascending.
Paco, did you just correct his grammar?
Yeah.
I mean, how far back can we go in movies? Because I haven't been in the podcast in about a year, so...
I saw the Dark Knight Rises. So.
That was out several years ago. Come on.
Okay. Only like in the last month, I'd say. And also, Tommy saw Shaun the Sheep, the movie.
I did, yeah. Sean, are you doing multi-angle?
Seamless, Sean, seamless.
Oh, seamless. No one would have.
That was good, yeah. Anyone watching the video there, I've noticed Sean did like a kind of Scorsese multi-angle back and forth thingy.
From standard def to like super HD def, with a cup of tea as well. Excellent.
But yeah, so initially when Paul wasn't going to do this, I was like, it would be fun to do like a video chat thing, see how that goes. Maybe we'll do it, maybe we won't. But then some news broke this morning.
Yep.
That made me think, okay, well, we've definitely got to do a show this week. So yeah, it's pretty huge news. If you're a comic book fan or just a film fan in general, Spider-Man is officially joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe, along with the Avengers and all those cool dudes. I honestly didn't think it would happen this soon. Like there was rumors a wee while ago through those like leaked Sony emails about the conversations back and forth, and I just thought it was all like pie in the sky dream stuff. But it's actually happening. Now, there's some caveats to this. The whole story is that Sony were still going to put the film out, but it's going to be within the same continuity as the Marvel films. Kevin Feige is going to be a producer on the films, and I think that they're going to have Spider-Man introduced in one of the Marvel movies that's already announced. And then give him his own movie in 2017. Now
So-
that means that other films that are already planned are going to be kind of bumped down the pecking order a wee bit. So Thor has been pushed back, and Black Panther has been pushed back.
There was
So
a
there's gonna be
third.
sorry.
There was a third.
Oh,
Yeah. So basically everything's been knocked back a wee bit, apart from the Avengers.
okay.
So that'll give you some idea of what.
Huh?
It's been condensed, isn't it? It's like they've only been shifted forward a few months, and then the back end of the films haven't moved at all. So they're just getting a bit tighter together.
Like, they've all been bumped down a wee bit. Like Inhumans, which was I think the furthest down the line. That's been pushed to after the second Avengers, the Avengers 3 Part 2, I guess you'd call it. I know Infinity Wars Part 2.
Infinity Wars Part 2.
Yeah, so that was originally supposed to happen in between Infinity War 1 and 2, and that's been pushed after it. So that'll make you assume, well, I guess the Inhumans don't have any part in the Infinity War, I guess.
I always assumed that they would have. I thought that was the point of that putting a film in between two halves of the third Avengers film.
Well, I mean, like Guardians showed up in between Avengers 1 and 2, and that's got nothing to do with. Well, I mean, I guess you see Thanos, but
say that now.
Yeah, this is the thing. The films aren't out, and they could very well change stuff. But both Guardians and the Inhumans are massive, proponents of the Infinity War stuff. So
yeah,
even the Inhumans.
What was that, Sean?
The rumor that I had heard was that they were introducing the Inhumans to sort of bring in the new generation. So the first half of the Avengers 3 would be sort of everyone being defeated by Thanos, and then you'd introduce the Inhumans and the sort of younger cast, so they could come, they could sort of help actually defeat Thanos, and then sort of transition into the later, past Phase 3.
See, I figured that's what the Guardians would be for, like
But they're both the same. They're both in the same kind of thing though, because the Inhumans have a lot to do with Peter Quill's dad.
Yeah.
But as well as that, they all have Thanos is a common enemy to all these people. So that's why, it's the center point of we have all these people because they all have different beefs with Thanos.
I definitely think that bringing in Spider-Man, they must have been changing all their storylines significantly. There's no way that Spider-Man is sort of something they just stick onto the side. They're going to probably be intertwining him pretty heavily throughout the story. So probably pretty likely that the story that they had for Inhumans is now definitely changed.
Yeah.
Well, but how much impact can Spider-Man have on the Inhumans though?
Spider-Man's. Is it right? Am I right to say that Spider-Man is the most popular Marvel character? He is the sort of.
He's the Mickey Mouse of Marvel, yeah.
I was just about to say Mickey Mouse as well, yeah. So no matter what, he's going to be center to any story on Earth. So.
I don't know. I think the Marvel already have these characters that everyone cares about. They don't really need Spider-Man, so they can use them however they want.
Well, remember, Alan, we were talking about this earlier, and that is everything's kind of been pushed back. And you were saying I'm feeling quite surprised with this, but I'm willing to bet Kevin Feige has probably thought, right, what if we could get Spider-Man back? Because like you said, Sean, as well, they're not going to shoehorn him in. I reckon they kind of have always had maybe a plan, not plan B,
a contingency plan.
A Spider-Man plan. We can have him in these things feasibly if we get the go-ahead. So it's right, we've got the go-ahead. So yeah, I still think he's going to appear in Civil War. I think that's the first.
He has to, man.
That makes the most sense because they've said that he's going to appear in a Marvel movie that's already announced, and then he's going to get his own movie in 2017. Now, the only movies that are coming out in that time are Civil War, Ant-Man, and Guardians 2, and Doctor Strange, sorry.
Hey, Ant-Man, Spider-Man...
Ant-Man's wrapped already. They've finished shooting that, so it's not going to be that. Civil War is in the process of being written still, so it's likely it could be that. And he's not going
to... as well?
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Spider-Man is heavily in Civil War. Super, the catalyst that kind of erupts this whole thing.
So that would definitely make the most sense, and would be the most cool because you've already got Tony and Steve going at it, and then Black Panther's rumored to be in it as well. If Spider-Man showed up as well, I'm so excited and so curious to see how they're going to introduce him into it because it can't. They're not going to do another origin story of him being bitten by the spider, Uncle Ben dying, all that, blah 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 blah. You know all that already. So they can do it in imagine it was just I don't know, just Spidey in the suit or whatever, and you hear him speak here, you just saw him and oh, who's that guy? That weird young kid or whatever.
Well, I would put money on them introducing him as Miles Morales.
Miles Morales.
Yeah,
that's an almost certain, isn't it?
What's that? Who?
He has Spider-Man right now. I don't read comic books, but from what I know, they Peter Parker was killed off, and for the last few years, Spider-Man has been this half black, half Hispanic kid.
Yeah.
And he is the main Spider-Man in comics now. So everyone's saying that because everyone was kind of exhausted when they had a second origin story, like another,
Yeah.
Uncle Ben dying. So I don't even know the origin story of Miles Morales. So
The,
do something different with it.
this is something that's a bit harsh as well because without you don't need another origin story. I mean we've been talking. I think me and Paco talked about this, and Alan talked about Laura as well. It's a shame that they won't keep Andrew Garfield because Andrew Garfield is getting the absolute shit end of the stick here because he was a good Spider-Man. So it's like you could just keep him in there because kids or whatever, we all know that like he has his origin story, so just continue in Civil War. But if they seem adamant that they want to like not have any association with the last two Spider-Man movies, quite rightly so because they were shit. But it's just a shame because Garfield I thought was a lot better than Tobey Maguire. But I mean that's the question then is who would be your ideal Spider-Man if it's not Andrew Garfield?
Well, I mean that's got to be like the most coveted role right now. Like even like when Guardians came out, people were like, "Oh, who's going to play Star-Lord?" But no one even knew who Star-Lord really was, and that has made Chris Pratt like going from the likable guy in Parks and Rec to like a total Hollywood A-lister.
He apparently turned it down, or he was approached and initially turned it down.
Really?
Yeah, I was reading about that, and I was like, man, don't do that.
So yeah, like I mean, you gotta imagine every young actor is going to be trying to go for the Spider-Man role.
I mean, I don't think I genuinely don't think they're going to have another Peter Parker. Like, I don't think they'll even go for that name. Like, I think they're too aware of how tired everyone is with the character, or with.
It's kind of a risky thing though, because like everybody knows Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Yeah.
You know, it's like kind of that's. Like, I mean, I used to be right into Spider-Man like ages ago and stuff, but I've never heard of this guy you're talking about. Like
It's a fairly recent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the last
I've heard stuff.
years that Miles joined, and like the way he kind of became Spider-Man is incredibly similar to how Peter became Spider-Man. It's all just Peter's blood after he was killed was synthesized into a spider, and then he got bitten by that spider. So it's all the kind of same kind of.
But yeah, that's the thing though. This happens all the time in like comic books and whatever, where someone picks up.
So.
Well, you freaked out there, Laura. I didn't hear.
Yeah, I was going to say sorry.
You talked like 10 feet there.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I mean, it's the same as when like Chris Evans' Captain America goes, and you know it's Sebastian Stan like becomes Captain America. That's I thought a thing already folk are talking about, and I'd be quite happy with it, given if they go the way they're supposed to. But I mean, it's Marvel, you know. I mean, you can trust them, but it's very interesting. Like you said, Alan, it is the most coveted role. I mean, if they start holding opening casting sessions, if they start holding open cast sessions in Glasgow, shit, I'll go for it, man.
Yeah.
What I hate to see that.
But like, I think more so than like Captain America, or any like most other superheroes, I think Peter Parker and I guess Tony Stark as well. Peter Parker and Tony Stark are kind of as famous as Spider-Man and Iron Man. Like they're as important to those characters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, totally. I mean, when Iron Man was coming out, I mean, nobody knew who Iron Man was. Nobody knew who Tony Stark was, and then that film came out, and it was huge, and it was kind of the film that built the Marvel Studios because it was unprecedentedly popular. I mean, you can't really imagine Iron Man without Robert Downey Jr. You know what I mean? It just seems he's just owned that role, and it is just weird because just Marvel are handling it so well where you're like, okay, you might not really know this character, but we're going to show you this amazing kind of either origin story or film within a film where you don't know them yet, but when you do, like you're just going to love them. I mean, same thing happened with Guardians. I was very skeptical about Guardians, but like, yeah, Groot. You know what I mean? Everybody fucking has fallen in love with that character.
I am Groot.
We are Groot, mate.
And then, do you think a standalone Spider-Man movie? I know he's going to be introduced somewhere along the line before that, but do you think a standalone Spider-Man reboot, like, is it one too many? Will people be okay with it?
Well, I mean, what's interesting as well, again, if it's Civil War, is spoilers. Spider-Man is one of the people that kind of gives up his secret identity. And
Yeah, but
reveal
that
it
like
all.
we've been
Secret
over this so many
identities.
times. That's not going to be the way the films go because no one in the films has a secret identity other than Spider-Man. And also, if you introduce Spider-Man in in Civil War, and he's like, "Oh hey, I've actually been here this whole time, and I'm actually Peter Parker," it's going to have no impact to it.
What would be interesting though is say he took off the mask and it wasn't Peter Parker.
It's Stan Lee.
Jose Fernandez.
Sorry, Paco, what do you think?
Say that.
What do you think the new Spider-Man's called?
Jose Fernandez.
No, close enough.
There's some with that.
He swings in with his miraculous.
It's not even alliterative.
Yeah, rule number 1 of comic books: you have to have the alliteration in your name.
Mm.
Apart from
I just hope like from like the standalone Spider-Man movie, like whatever, but like if they're going to introduce him in Civil War, and I got the impression that they've probably like written Civil War, or they're like much further along in development of it, but now that they have to introduce Spider-Man.
Well, like Laura said, I think they probably have had like a break glass in case of Spider-Man type plan.
Do you think they've also gone revisions for X-Men then in case they get them off of Fox?
That's
Great.
Kevin
Eleven
Feige's
the Spider-Man.
got a plan for everything.
Bam. The X-Men should never happen.
That's too much, yeah. To say, secretly there's been mutants this whole time as well. That would.
The storylines are so like contradictory.
But and this the X-Men stuff is like on its own, is like globe spanning, like it affects the entire world. To bring that in and say like.
It's like the whole sort of like framing of superheroes is completely different in both worlds. Like in the X-Men films, up until like the ones that we've seen, like the White House is gets involved in like every film, and the whole world is having a discussion about the nature of mutants. And then and now in the Marvel films, it's like everyone is discussing the idea of superheroes. Like,
but the Marvel films are all focusing so much on the Infinity Gems, one of which is the Time Gem, and then you've got the Space Gem. So they could easily do like
an X-Men Days of Future Past, Past?
Like a total they've opened
alternate reality type thing.
Reality. Yeah. It's comic books as well, man. So it's like no one's going to realize that if it turns out good.
It's very true.
That's the only literally.
Oh, folk would go fucking nuts. They'd be like, I don't care if this doesn't make sense. This is
well, that's the only way you could do it, is literally bend reality to sort of a different universe.
The movie already do that. Like Avengers starts off with them making a big explosion in a military facility. Like when Loki comes through from fuck knows where.
You could have the two dimensions crashing together, and just you have to deal with. Like at the end of the movie, both timelines converge, and like the X-Men are part of our reality now.
It'd be cool if we did, like, I know, just as a one-off thing, like just for fun, be like, oh, let's just do one movie together.
Terminators, bring the whole fucking lot through, man.
Imagine that.
Let's have a big fucking
I don't know. It would feel like as funny as that idea is, it would be a bit too like TV crossover special, like a bit sort of knowing.
They should do a TV crossover special.
Like it would just be like everyone's eyes would just like roll back in their head watching it. Like it would know.
Initially, but then you would forgive it because it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Flashing Loki
again.
Yeah.
Us doing this podcast about movies would think it's amazing, and might stretch like everyday Joe's like ability to sort of suspend their disbelief. But actually, you know what? They've not introduced the sort of reality gem yet. Who knows?
That'll be Doctor Strange, I think, when all that stuff happens.
Maybe the Spider-Man movie will be like the Madame Web thing from the cartoons.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
How about this, right? How about this? Civil War. You've got Tony and Steve sitting watching TV, and they're watching The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and they're like, oh god, this movie's a piece of shit, right? It's nothing like the real Spider-Man. And then he turns around, like, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Pierce
that's not how I was going to go. I thought you were going to be like
watching Andrew Garfield on the telly, then the black Spider-Man swings by the had to change him for TV.
All right.
So, would you think they're going to have like a montage, flashback in one of the films where it shows you like actually, behind this building, Spider-Man was there the whole time.
Hanging out.
Like that sort of the Avengers sort of long take as all the Avengers are fighting around New York. It'll be like the other camera angle is like Spider-Man was underneath him, or he was like.
Like professing his love to Mary Jane while all this shit's going on.
They did it for Back to the Future.
Oh shit! I've got it.
Okay.
Right. So in Civil War, right? There's the conflict between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, and a young Peter Parker is reporting on it, and then he goes to interview them both and all that, and then he's like,
"Oh, he photographs, Alan."
Oh, this is my reboot, right? This is my reboot. So then he's like inspired by like Captain America, and he's like, I'm going to be a superhero too because I happen to have these spider powers and stuff. So it's a work in progress.
I caught one of those gumball machines.
Yeah, man. They were free in a lucky bag.
But it's all very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we done talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Tommy, this one's for you. Since Paul's not here either, it's solely for you. The screenwriters of the Saw franchise are working on a recalibration. That's the word that's being used for the Halloween franchise.
Oh, wait.
Are they adjusting the color and sort of like lighting on the DVDs? What does that mean?
A recalibrate. What does that mean?
The audio was out of sync, so they went and they recalibrated it. You can see what Michael Myers is saying now. It's I don't know, like it's
the exact same films, but it's just you're going to hear what he says.
Yeah.
It's presumably just a fancy way of saying reboot, but everyone's so like sick of the word reboot.
What it means is basically, see the first Halloween movie, Michael Myers was actually just this lost guy who was asking for directions the whole time, but he was misunderstood. Is that what?
Didn't Rob Zombie basically do that already?
Yeah, Rob Zombie did. He took a big steaming shit on a fantastic Halloween movie. Sorry, two.
It's not really that good, is it?
It's very, very good.
It's not really.
Halloween 1 is amazing, man.
It's not, though.
It is. What do you know, man? You don't like horror movies.
I do like horror movies. I just don't like shit ones.
You don't.
Which know. Halloween happens to be a shit one.
Halloween's amazing, man. You don't know.
So would you be up for the guys that wrote Saw restarting that and doing away with the past like 20 years of baggage?
Well, it's already been fucking done already. Rob's tried to do it and made him a crying little abused boy, so...
Yeah, so get rid of that. Get rid of that rubbish stuff.
Get rid of Sherryman Zombie on a white horse as his mum and bring in the guys that did Saw, and hopefully it's not going to be like, oh no, it's a twist, he's really got partners and he's really doing this, ah!
Yeah, I don't know, man. I quite like John Carpenter's Halloween as it is. To recalibrate it, I mean... Not really. I would have to see the trailer. I'd have to understand what they mean by that to have an opinion. But yeah, if the minute I see Rob Zombie's name anywhere near it, then I'm fucking out.
They probably just mean.
Or Eli Roth. If he's got anything to do with it, I'm out as well, man.
What if it was Quentin Tarantino?
Out.
No.
What if it was Justin Lin?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So Michael Myers, rather than just kind of walk fast, he's got like a Lambo with some fucking nitrous in it, man, and that's how he pursues people. Yeah, fuck yeah, man, do that. Yeah, Fast and the Furious Halloween crossover. That's what
also The Rock is Michael Myers.
Oh my god.
Is it that way? Like you've no doubt. Have you seen the new trailer for Fast 7?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, great. You know how like The Rock breaks his cast like by flexing his muscles?
Oh, I laughed so much.
Yeah, it's amazing. But wouldn't it be great if he was Michael Myers, that he breaks the mask with his face?
Flexing his face? By doing the people's eyebrow?
Oh, fuck, there it is. Take my money. I will watch
I don't even watch wrestling, and that's funny.
Awesome. But yeah, I want to know what they mean by recalibrate, but not really. You know,
reboot.
Oh no, you don't want to hear them explain it further. It's already such a ridiculous term. Your mind would just go insane if they.
No, I don't want them like hold a press conference and say, look, by recalibrate is this. What I want to see is in a teaser trailer or whatever. Yeah. But personally, no, I'd rather they just kind of left it. Yeah, I'm going with that. No.
Tommy's going with no.
That shit. What is that? I'm saying go do something else. You know what I mean?
What are the bobbleheads you've got under your telly?
What are they? Let's see. That's some Sons of Anarchy and Buffy the Vampire Slayer ones, none of which belong to me.
Good.
I think there are some in my bobblehead. Hold on. Swear to me!
It's Batman, by the way, for the podcast listeners.
Yeah. No, that'll play really well on the podcast.
Yep.
Do I look like a cop? Anyway, I'll put that back. Anything else about my living room you want explained?
Nah.
Cool. Right, moving on. I just kind of threw this in here because we were a bit short of news. But the rumor is that Marvel want Angelina Jolie to direct Captain Marvel.
Angelina Jolie?
She's directed 2 things so far. Both of which have kind of been well received.
What level?
She did Unbroken. I don't know what the other 2 things she did.
Land of Blood and Honey. That was her Serbian one, and she did another one as well. It was a short film she did. But really, Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel?
They're the same thing.
No, but Miss. Aye, so it's Miss Marvel then.
But
No,
she's
Captain
called
Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
That's the name of the film, is Captain Marvel?
Yeah, the movie, yeah, like they called her Captain because they thought, it's sexist to call her Miss Marvel when she's just as good as the rest of them. Like, why is Captain America's not Mr. America?
You should.
So she's a
Okay, fair enough.
Mr. America.
Captain. He's a fictitious captain.
So in the same way that that Warner Brothers want a female director to do the Wonder Woman movie, I guess they want a female director to do Captain Marvel.
I bet they just get more female directors in general.
But there's Angelina Jolie, Sofia Coppola.
Not Sophia Coppola, please.
And who's the other one? Catherine Bigelow.
There you go.
That you're right. There are only 3.
The Lexi Alexander, she did Punisher Warzone.
Was there no a woman that directed Wild? Was there no woman? The
No,
screenplay,
that was a guy.
the screenplay was Nick Hornby, was it no?
Yeah, it was a guy. It was a guy that did Dallas Buyers Club.
He's right.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah.
I've not seen any Angelina Jolie's directorials, so I can't
Yeah,
possibly.
I didn't catch Unbroken. So
I think part of the Sony email hack was a big long bitching session that they all had about her. Did you see that?
Yeah.
like, she was a brat, and she was spoiled, and a lot of other things.
All the producers hated the film as well, but they didn't Broken
I
do
don't
well.
think they hated the film. It was more like, oh yeah, she's gonna nag and cry if she doesn't get this, so just give it to her because she's a little brat, that kind of thing. It was just very much she demands something, and if she doesn't get it, she was in a huff. Yeah.
Isn't it like a director's job to do things their way?
I guess, but I don't know. Was it more like? I don't know. It's kind of like
Sony films don't seem like a nice bunch of folk. They
Well,
don't.
I'm sure that there's probably some pretty nasty emails that go around Marvel as well.
No, they're all just talking about how cool Cap Shield is and stuff.
remember when Avengers came out? It was a case of Chris Hemsworth and Scarlett Johansson were not happy about the fact that Downey Jr. was getting 50 mil, and they were stuck on those set salaries even though they had multi-picture deals, and Downey Jr. was trying to be yeah, they've got a point. Why not pay them what they're owed?
Yeah,
because I think Hemsworth had said he's look, keeping up the fitness regime.
Didn't I was going to say Tony Stark there? Didn't Robert Downey Jr. basically say I'm not coming back unless you pay those guys as much as you pay me because it's not fair?
He said that, but Hemsworth as well is look, do you have any idea how hard this kind of training regime is to keep his Thor body and all that? So he's look, this is
Chris. I have no idea how hard that is. No.
Yeah, I should be getting paid for all. And again, Scarlett Johansson's a very successful actress as well. Look, you got to keep me for multi-pictures, then you got to pay me.
Yep. Otherwise, I'm going to go and shoot films in Scotland and stuff.
Yeah. People.
Mel Brooks was talking. I'm going to guess kind of jokingly because he's Mel Brooks. But he was talking about when the new Star Wars movies come out that he wants to do a Spaceballs 2 the week after Star Wars comes out, which would be a pretty funny joke to do.
And what was the subtitle, Alan?
Spaceballs 2, was it the Quest for More Money? I think it was called.
It was the Search for More Money.
Yeah. Which is weird because that's a Star Trek reference.
I've never seen Spaceballs. Has it got Star Trek references in it as well?
No, it's 100% Star Wars.
Okay.
No, like it does have Star Trek ones as well. It's like Star Wars is the main thing for it, but there's like loads of different. It's the same as Mel Brooks's other kind of movies.
Like it's more of a sci-fi spoof.
Yeah. It follows the plot of Star Wars.
Paco, I don't know why I let Alan answer that question. He is seen 2 Star Trek movies now and considers.
I have seen 3 Star Trek movies. I'll have you know.
Wrath of Khan.
Never watched the episode of the TV show.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what enjoying Star Trek means.
Is that what separates the chaff from the wheat?
Yep, it is. If you hate all the films, then you're a real Star Trek fan.
Do you hate all the movies?
No. Actually, I don't know. Let's not start that again. Actually, that would pull at that thread. We're all getting along so well earlier on.
But yeah, I don't know. It would be kind of funny if Mel Brooks threw together a Spaceballs sequel to come out the week after Star Wars.
What's the last thing that he did?
The producers?
The last thing I remember was Dracula Dead and Loving It with Leslie
He must
Nielsen.
have done something since then.
Didn't he do the producers? The movie version of that?
I don't know if he did the movie version, what you mean, the one with Will Ferrell, the musical one?
He didn't.
Oh,
I don't
it
think
wasn't in that.
No, he didn't do the remake, but the film of the producers is like the 70s.
But there was a new version of it that came out, and it was Nathan Lane and
Producers 2005 was him.
All right, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And Will Ferrell was in it. Yeah.
was he?
He played the German. He played the German scriptwriter.
All right, that was I probably saw that before I really knew.
It is
who
that
Will
one. Yeah,
was.
I seen that one. That one sucked ass.
Is it Matthew Broderick? Yeah.
Yeah,
Matthew Broderick, Nathan Lane.
Yeah, he's lame.
Oh no, hold on. Let me think. Sorry, you think he had something to do with the producers 2005, but the last thing he directed was Dracula Dead and Loving It,
Which was in 1905.
He got the money. That's what he got from.
He was probably just.
films.
What's that way? The producers is a really successful Broadway show, so yeah, he just has to live off the royalties.
All right, Paco, sit back, get ready. It's time for some BAFTA chat.
Oh!
Is it really that time of year again already?
Before we talk about the BAFTAs, anyone see what Kanye did at the Grammys? It was pretty funny.
To Beck again.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But so if you don't know, Beck won Best Album of the Year against Beyonce.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still doing stuff, yeah. So he won Best Album, Beyonce didn't, and Kanye kind of got up to the stage as if he was going to do another I'm gonna let you finish thing, but then he kind of laughed and walked back away, and everyone was like, oh, Kanye made a joke, good one. But what's better than that is there's a gif of Jay-Z's reaction to the events, and just watching his face runs the gambit of all emotions. At first he's like shaking his head like, no, don't do it, Kanye. Then he realizes he's just joking. He's like, this guy. It's a really funny gif.
I thought he did do something. I thought, like you said, like Beck was like an insult to inspiration or something.
He said Beck doesn't respect inspirational artists or something like that. I know, he's just running his mouth as usual. But he did this after the show. He didn't interrupt him this time. But yeah, Kanye's an idiot.
I've seen a gif of Kanye, a short video and a gif after that of just him walking, I think it's an airport, and the paps are chasing him, and they're like, Kanye, why did you do it? Why did you punk Beck? Why did you not like Beck? He's like, I like Beck, but the Grammys know that Beyonce's album was the best album last year, and he's just like, come on, man, I love Beck, but seriously? And I'm like, oh, Kanye, you're a fucking idiot.
I'm willing to bet that he has never listened to a Beck song in his life.
The only thing I seen at the Grammys was that thing that went viral about Taylor Swift dancing like an idiot, and Pharrell just kind of is looking at her as if to say, the fuck are you doing, kind of thing.
Oh, man, Pharrell with his gigantic stupid hat is looking at someone thinking...
No, he doesn't have a giant super hat in it, man. So he's just kind of looking as if to say, the fuck's going on here, kind of thing. That's the only thing I've seen at the Grammys.
We'll see with the BAFTAs, I think so. We worked on a couple of films, and I don't know how this happened, but like I had a dozen people in my office got to go to the BAFTA. What was it? The Weinstein Company BAFTA's after party.
What?
Like, and I only I guess part of me was like, how did I not get to go? But I guess I didn't. I didn't really work on it, like specifically. I don't. Yeah, quite a few people got to go, and they didn't actually really realize what they were going to. I think until the end, because the guy posted a message on Facebook. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a long post, but like, he was like, yeah.
What's the gist?
I seen Loki dancing with Howard Stark. They went to a party and it ended up being like a party that everyone from the actual BAFTAs went along to. And he was like, there was Benedict Cumberbatch, Steve Carell, Michael Keaton, Ethan Hawke, Mark Ruffalo, Edward Norton.
Any hot goss?
I've no idea. I wanted
Who
to
left
talk
for
to them.
this one?
I wanted to talk to them about it, but I'm kind of like so jealous that I don't know if I could handle it. Yeah, it's insane.
2 for 2, the movies that you guys worked on have been shit this year.
Did you not like what was Invitation Game?
I didn't see that.
Imitation Game was excellent.
Well done, John. Good movie. Well done.
Yeah.
I contributed so much to that film.
Your CGI Cumberbatch was seamless. Amazing.
Well, 2 for 2 what was the second one?
Like,
It was Jupiter Ascending.
Jupiter Ascending was one of them, and then it was a Woman in Black, Angel of Death.
Yeah, I've not seen that. I don't. Yeah.
Like they looked.
However,
They were just terrible movies.
yeah. We'll get to the reviews later, I guess.
Yeah. I know, we'll just go through this quickly. The best film was Boyhood, which is probably going to win at the Grammys.
Oscars.
No. Grammys, yeah. Boyhood, is this new Southern rapper? Have you not heard of him?
That's a great rapper name, actually.
Boy.
Yeah.
No, flip it around, Hood Boy, and he can be like, Hood. Patent pending. Ghetto superhero called Hood Boy. He stops like gun crime and stuff. But yeah, British Film of the Year, which seems like, I don't know, seems like such a pandering category. So we make films too. Crappy again. It was Theory of Everything, and everything else was either won by The Theory of Everything or by Boyhood.
Mm-hmm.
Lego Movie won Best Animated. Nice to see it was actually nominated. This is what I thought was weird. Best Original Screenplay went to Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, right.
His work's not really generally kind of noticed for its screenplays.
Well, I think, was it me and you that were talking about this, where it's as if this film has welcomed Wes Anderson into the kind of mainstream, because he has always kind of been, like Life Aquatic and, like Rushmore, have always been kind of like indie quirky flicks, whereas like Grand Budapest Hotel, it was like nominated, I'm pretty sure, for like 8 awards, and no doubt for the Academy Awards, it's like nominated for loads as well, including, I think, Best Director, Picture, and again, Screenplay. So that's a lot of recognition, because, I mean, I really enjoyed Grand Budapest Hotel, but I thought, if anything, yeah, maybe production design, but I didn't see it as an Oscar film, and it was out in, what, was it March last year? Which is,
February last year, yeah.
Again, like, that's quite a while, considering.
Does it usually stand against the film? Like, does time really affect the number of nominations the thing gets?
No, it's more the release time, because like usually when it's like for the Academy Awards, we go for like a November-December release. That's why like last year you had like 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle, and all that were coming around about the same time, just because that's the for your consideration months. That's when they're like, right, we'll release it at that time. But
yeah, so it's almost as if like even what's the director's name?
Wes Anderson.
Yeah, as if when Wes Anderson himself was like had no thoughts towards like awards, like putting out in February,
Yeah. But yeah, Grand Budapest Hotel was really good. I thought Ralph Fiennes might have been nominated in the acting category, because I thought he was absolutely superb in the film.
Good to see that Whiplash won the best editing, because
nice.
that was dope.
Really? Actually, you know what? I haven't seen Whiplash, so I can't say anything.
Leave your flat right now and go and watch Whiplash.
Well, like, yeah, no, I was planning to see. I've seen quite a few films, and that just left cinemas really early. I thought that Birdman would get good editing awards, or like.
I thought that was going to get.
Yeah, actually, why didn't that get, man?
It got cinematography, I think.
Yeah, it's like editing. Is there much editing when it's one shot? But like, it should be. Yeah, like if you got cinematography, then that's good because it deserves something.
Yeah, but you're right.
The fact that it's made to look like it is one shot is why it deserves to win that one for editing. You know.
Yeah.
I swear these fuzzy lines with award names that are just yeah.
Yeah, you'll get like sound mixing and like as editing something else. It's like, yeah, is that not the same job? It's like, no, it's not. So it's a shame though, but like it's still kind of Whiplash thoroughly did deserve it as well.
Did Birdman win most banging soundtrack?
No chance.
Hold on, I'll tell you what won most banging soundtrack. I think that's what they call it. Oh no, I'm way down the list at EE Rising Star Award. Grand Budapest Hotel won original music.
Wow.
I mean, I guess like the ones in Whiplash aren't original songs, but that's pretty banging as well. Ba 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 ba. Boom 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 boom. And that's the one. What else we got? That's all the news. You guys got any personal news? Anything you want to bring up? I didn't do this. It's our video.
Developments.
Any what?
Any personal developments?
Yeah, Paco, any personal developments? What have you been up to?
Oh man, I nearly got sacked from work.
Ooh!
That's pretty good.
Go on.
Yeah. No, I can't talk about it.
Oh, really? Why? Why do you tease us like that?
Teased.
After the show, tell us.
It's not like any big deal.
Is it funny, though?
Nah, not even.
Well, don't pick it up because you don't want to create a sort of a anticlimax for the listener.
Yeah.
I think
Just
that
make
ship
up a
sailed.
story.
Just try to frustrate people.
That's how you people enjoy shows.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've not been up to much. I'm on holiday now, so I've just been doing what I do every day.
Yes.
Playing Destiny.
5 hours less climbing up and downstairs. I've not just been playing Destiny though. I've been playing different things, but we'll save that for another time.
Oh.
This isn't a game podcast.
No, this is not a game podcast.
You still chasing that Destiny dragon? That's what they call it, isn't it? When you do heroin.
I made plans to go on it early today, so from 9:30 until 6 o'clock, I was playing it today.
Oh my god!
Quite a long time.
That's
That's like less than, probably more than half the amount of total time that I played it.
How many hours now in counting have you played racked up in Destiny?
Give us a minute, I'll tell you. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
I'm actually genuinely curious because like.
Right, hold on, right, Sean. Right, you have a guess. How long have you played in it?
Fuck.
Ballpark.
It's definitely in the three figures. I'm gonna say
140.
I'm gonna go with 147.
Oh, come on.
Alright, Alan, go.
Okay, right. So here's mines for comparison. I played it a bit. I played 2 days, 15 hours, and 44 minutes. Okay, do you guys want to adjust your guesses based on that?
You've played it for like 50 hours.
2 days, 15 hours, 44 minutes.
Alright, 15 hours. Shit. However, I can't be bothered thinking again.
Right, here you go.
I'm going to say Paco's played for, I'm going to guess, like, over 2 weeks of Destiny.
Right,
Wait.
here you go. You ready?
This is just with my third character, the one I've used the least.
Okay.
I've racked up 75 hours. On the one I use the least.
So what's the one you use the most? Can you get
I
that?
don't know, because the app's kind of weird.
Yeah.
This isn't very interesting either.
No, sorry.
How long, do you know roughly?
I think it's I know that it's past the 30 days mark of in-game hours. So
30
What?
human days.
every 4 days is 100 hours pretty much. So it's like, yeah, it must be approaching 1,000 hours.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, Paco!
I mean, 30 days. I just put it up there. 30 days is like 795 hours.
Like, but that's, I'm sure it was 30 days a while ago. Like, I've not checked it in a while.
Like, so I thought it was definitely like 1,000.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him. Oh.
Oh dear.
Value for money.
Yes, sure, yeah.
I think so.
Anyone else get anything interesting to add before we move into the reviews section?
Was that interesting?
I was interested in it. It was illuminating, if nothing else.
I've not listened to the podcast for a couple of weeks, so
Thanks, Sean.
I've seen quite a few films, so I'd like to hear your opinions on quite a few things.
On the older ones, go for it.
Are you a quick fire round?
Quickfire round of just January, I guess.
Well, January had some unexpectedly good movies, I think. In fact, the year so far, I've got a list of what I've seen so far.
January is our Oscar season, isn't it?
I've got it on my phone here. So, Theory of Everton, it was okay. Birdman was quite good. Into the Woods was okay. American Sniper was okay. Whiplash was excellent. Ex Machina was excellent.
Big
Hero 6 was really good. Kingsman was really good. The Interview was... tune in a few minutes to find out.
What did I go and see? I went to see...
you went to see Kingsman, you said?
Well, yeah, I went to see Kingsman. Will we talk about films that we've seen this week? Are we starting that? Where are we going with this?
Well, you said you've seen Kingsman and Big Hero 6, so let's start with them. This is the official start of the review section.
I'll go by far back as Foxcatcher if you want.
No.
Yeah, sure.
I think I've liked everything, but though I especially liked Wild. I think Wild was one of my favourite ones in the last month.
Wild
was so good.
I've heard surprisingly good things about that movie.
Yeah, that should have won editing. That was a fantastically edited film.
Of the three people I know that have seen it, it seems like it very much appeals to their own sensibilities.
Is that
I went to 3.
Like you, Paco, Sean, and Amy, they're all into their travel-y, outdoorsy stuff.
I guess so. Ex Machina was great. Machina. Whatever. So we talk about Big Hero 6 if that's like most recent, like.
Yeah, that and Kingsman. You can get full Sean Feely reviews. The full Feely.
The full Feely. I have to come back. Big Hero 6 was great. It was a weird sort of weird blend of Incredibles and the Iron Giant, which is an easy comparison to make. I'm sure. I haven't heard any of your opinions on it, so I feel like I might retread points here.
I think everyone watched it liked it.
The whole at the end making it like a superhero origin story felt weirdly tacked on. I thought, like at the end when they're like, "Oh yeah, we're superheroes now."
I've heard other people say that it kind of feels a bit rushed, and then suddenly it's like, "Oh, now we're a superhero team." I've heard other people say that as well.
I mean, that's what I said last week.
That's probably where I heard it.
Yeah.
It just feels like, oh right, well, whatever. You were just a bunch of guys having, a good time. The world was so ridiculous.
Death, great one.
Sorry?
No, nothing. I'm just chastising you.
The world felt so over the top and sort of cartoony that the idea of people being above that at like a superhero level, was a bit strange. Like the fact that at the end there was the end, but the fact that they have some sort of mysterious status as superheroes by the end of the film felt like, wait a minute, isn't everyone doing this? It just kind of felt so natural in the world, which is a good thing about the film, I guess. Is like it all felt very believable and cartoony and fun. It was a fantastic film.
They created a good.
Near the end.
Sorry.
You cry near the end.
Do we want to talk about the end?
No, just mention everything.
I think the sort of emotional arcs of the film were predictable, and certainly with like reveals and things like that. That like I don't guess films, or I don't try and guess films like very far off, but I've seen them all coming. Not to say that they weren't effective; they just weren't like surprising. It felt very kind of the emotional arc felt very obvious, but inside that it was really enjoyable. I mean, I compare it to The Incredibles and Iron Giant, but I don't think it's as good as either of those films.
I've not seen The Iron Giant, but yeah, I don't think it was as good as The Incredibles. Yeah.
The Iron Giant is, I mean, it's directed by Brad Bird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like, I haven't seen it in years, but yeah, I hold it up there as like one of my favorite films.
Well, I only saw it after The Incredibles, because after seeing Brad Bird had directed it, like I went out and bought it, and I thought it was actually kind of crap. It's really boring. It's a very, very boring movie.
I seen it quite young, and I think part of it is nostalgia as well.
So what's better, Iron Giant, Incredibles, or MI4?
MI4? Oh, Mission Impossible 4? Okay.
What did you think I was saying?
Well, I thought you were talking about like MI5. I was like, what? Like, as in the government?
No, that's what he said. That's
the next one.
Said 4.
Yeah.
Oh man, do you think they're going to base that like in London?
Maybe.
That's a no-brainer. Like that's
MI5, yeah.
That's what it should be. I would
The
say
Incredibles is a better film.
The Incredibles is by far the best film he's done.
Yeah. I don't think you could say that much more about like Big Hero 6. Like it's
enjoyable and fun. Yeah.
Baymax is really great.
Yeah, do you know who he's voiced by? We may have talked about this last week.
Yeah, Pete from 30 Rock.
Yeah, it's a really weird voice. Like it works, and I didn't expect Pete to have a have a life or have a career.
Alan Tudyk is.
He's the professor that works at the university.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, sorry, he's not. He's the guy who wants to buy Heroes technology from him at the beginning. That's what Alan Tudyk is.
James Cromwell's the professor.
Oh,
he is. Yeah, really recognizable voice. Yeah, you're right.
I'll tell you, Paco, I didn't tear up during the film, but I pretty much did with the opening short.
Oh, that was great.
That was
Feast. Yeah.
Feast. Yeah, that was fantastic.
What bit mad did you really tear up at?
But just the whole thing was just so sad and so happy. It was like that was like really sort of well crafted, sort of heartstring tugging action. Yeah, that was definitely more emotional for me. Not that I have a dog, but like I live with a dog, and maybe that is just like
that is no way to mind.
Is Ricky the dog? Is he about?
No, I mean I lock my door because he just kind of like walks in now. So I'm not going to go and get him. I can't be bothered.
No, that would be chaos.
Yeah, he doesn't sit still.
So Kingsman as well.
So this is, I guess, did anyone see this last week?
Yeah, me and Tommy have seen it.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Laura saw it as well, but she wasn't here. So Laura?
Yeah, I've seen Kingsman. I thought it was good fun, bit of nonsense, bit of fun. Very much a spy caper homage to the old Bond movies of like Goldfinger, Thunderball, that kind of era of spy movies. It's very much Matthew Vaughan's James Bond. I thought Colin Firth was having the best time shooting people, being all suave, but being like having kung fu skills. The sequence in the church was my favourite part.
Oh my god, yes.
It was so well done, and you're just sitting there going, I know exactly which church that this should actually go to. Mm-hmm. So it was being a spoof of the certain organisation, the Whip Toastmasters Church. And I think it is very silly, but I very much enjoyed it. But I know some people have a problem with Samuel L. Jackson's kind of lisp and kind of his persona, but he's been this kind of eccentric billionaire who, when they first mentioned Gaia theory, I was like, oh, Paco, I just started giggling to myself. So
is that about Gaia theory?
Yeah, he talks about guys.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, like the whole like him having a lisp and like being eccentric. That's like you said, straight out of that kind of classic Bond thing of like, let's have a kind of a wacky supervillain.
A wacky villain, yeah.
That
And his
would-
henchman who has samurai legs. Yep, okay, I'm in.
That she was fantastic. That's a great quirk for your henchman. I had a big problem with not a big problem, but like Samuel Jackson is definitely like my least favorite part of the film. Like,
Why?
I just thought it was incredibly bad casting. Like I feel that it felt like populist casting or just someone to get into the film to get people to go and see it. Like the fact that he is supposed to be this sort of pathetic billionaire who is afraid of blood. And I felt like to convey that, they just forced this lisp on him, this affectation that was like, oh, Samuel Jackson, he's normally like so like impressive a character who is like, you know, is like a badass. So we'll give him a lisp, that'll make him weak. Like it just felt so forced.
Well,
Like there could have been any number of like pasty, like skinny, scrawny sort of people who
Think
could have
back
cast
to
as the.
he was essentially that. Like that was his thing in Unbreakable. He was
Yeah, but I thought like in Unbreakable he was a lot more believable in that. Whereas,
Yeah, totally.
I
This
do
movie's
know,
not going for believability.
No, but I think Sean does have a point there in terms of bad casting. Maybe
putting Sam Jackson in anything is bad casting. Is terrible.
No, I disagree. He's awesome as Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Like in this in particular, I would rather if they went with, like you said, like a wee scrawny guy rather than just like Sam Jackson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
I get what you mean in theory, but I thought Sam Jackson was fine in it.
I mean, I think it was fine, but like after the film was kind of like, yeah, that. If you think about it, he kind of just stood out as being a little bit strange. Yeah, it just it all
Do you
felt
know,
really.
do you know who they originally wanted?
Who?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know. Leonardo DiCaprio would be. I don't know if he's ever played like weak. Like, I'm one of the people who believes that he plays a set number of characters in every film. He has like a couple of settings. I don't think the character that I would want, the person that I would want to see in that film, I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio has that setting. You know.
Like Paul Dano or someone, like that's all he ever does.
Not Paul Dano, like whatever, like.
Would you maybe
someone who's more physically like, I don't know, like a Mark Zuckerberg or
So Jesse Eisenberg.
yeah.
like it's the kind of thing where like see how like you've got the Eggsy. See if you had someone who was like not him, but it was like he was not like not of the same age or whatever, but
yeah, age definitely.
Some kind of yin to the yang. You know what I mean?
Oh, do you know what? Actually, like I know people like shit on him, but I think Michael Cera would have been really funny in that role.
He probably would be funny in that role.
You're right that like the fact that they could have had someone because so he's like a tech billionaire and they are all like the stereotype for that is like a young person in their 20s who's made money from phones and the internet. Like Samuel Jackson is in his 50s. Like
he doesn't like
60s.
60s, yeah. Like it should have been someone to be. I don't know, like a counterpoint to Eggsy, I guess.
I guess maybe they were going more like the Bill Gates, Steve Jobs type as opposed to the Zuckerberg type.
Yeah, but still, yeah. So like Laura, like I absolutely loved the church scene. Like I was like on the edge of my seat, just laughing, and it's like when the film totally just perked up for me. Like it was amazing. Like I'd heard before that Colin Firth has, he is impressive in an action movie, which I kind of wrote off as being like,
yeah, like what was that all about?
Yeah, like who cares? Like whatever, he shoots some guys, but that scene was so long and so well choreographed, and fair enough, there's some pretty obvious splits in the one take. But still the camera seems to be on him constantly as he's physically moving around and rolling around and stabbing and shooting, and it was that was genuinely impressive. Yeah, that was fantastic, and I think the second half of the film where they did have like there was a lot of helicopter shots of like crowds and things like that were all just amazingly violent. The violence was one of my favorite things, which is not something I would normally have said about a film. I loved how over the top it was.
You're usually kind of squeamish about that kind of stuff, aren't you?
No, like I'm squeamish, not squeamish, like oppressive sort of like horror movie, like sensitive dread and like people being horrifically beaten up, like victimized. I find just unpleasant to watch, but like violence, like gleeful violence. So what I was thinking of when I came home was the way that people talk about films like The Evil Dead. And they talk about the gore and the violence in that, like I find that really unpleasant. But the way that Kingsman does it is with sort of like a zippy soundtrack and sort of fast cuts and like it is so over the top, and the filmmakers are having fun doing it. Like they're trying to make you almost laugh. They're not trying to horrify you. Though I can imagine still people being horrified with this film because it is like so in your face with it. So it's a kind of it's two different ways to film the same type of action.
It's definitely in your face.
I'd say that I enjoyed it and I had a lot of fun watching the film. But like I was kind of disappointed near the end with its sort of representation of women and how it treated its female characters. So maybe like specifically. There's like the female agent, and she's like throughout the film is on par, and she is one of the agents. Like she is supposed to be as capable as the rest of them. And when it comes down to sort of the climax of the film, like they literally do nothing with her. They literally have her in a sort of she has little to no agency in like that dramatic scene.
It's not our story, though.
Does she become like a total damsel, though? Is she the one that gets rescued, or
no?
There's two parts of the plan that need to be carried out, and she goes and does one of them, and Eggsy does the other. It's just Eggsy is the more action-packed one. It's not
the whole thing. I mean, there are so many other ways that they could have had her in the action. Like they draw her character away from where the action is happening, and like. She has to, like, the equivalent of, like, press a button, and then she is in some amount of peril that resolves itself. She's not a damsel in distress. She's not a damsel in distress. No one comes and picks her up and, carries her to safety. But, like, the sort of, so after pressing a button, the agency she has in that story is zero.
You could say the same about Mark Strong's character.
Mark Strong's character has a gun, he has much more to do.
Got that.
I thought his accent was pretty good.
Yeah.
He says letter R weird, as if he's taking Scottish lessons from Gerald Butler.
I guess I didn't pick up on that. And also, like, I guess the sort of the punchline at the end, I don't know, wasn't a fan of, but it was like one joke.
I think the end is.
We've lost Laura.
Uh-oh. Is this the end?
Very rare.
Oh, there she is.
We lost you for a second there, Laura. You're going to have to...
Oh, sorry. It reminded me quite a lot of the ends of Bond movies, like Die Another Day and Tomorrow Never Dies. There's always some kind of risky kind of sex scene going on at the end, and
this was just like an extreme version of that.
He's tied up to try to get in touch with him, but he's too busy shagging to take the call.
Yeah, exactly. That didn't bother me. I do understand Sean's point about the female agent Roxy, who is, I'm pretty sure her name is Roxy, that she's consistently better than Eggsy in every single task, with exception to the skydiving scene, which is where they come. That's kind of contrasting to her being in space trying to shoot the satellite down. So that's kind of where her weakness, and that's her coming over that weakness. I thought that I was like, she's going to land and she's going to go and help the guys in this mission. I thought that maybe they could have done that.
Yeah.
She wasn't kind of thrown away and went like, okay, you go, Eggsy, you go and you be the hero, and I understand that he had to get redemption from disappointing his mentor, Colin Firth, but I think that she could have been included a bit more in the ending. She'd have been a more of an asset and
totally.
more of a plus to the ending.
Like there was the sort of the girl with knives for legs who should have a showdown with her. I don't know. It just felt like it was one of those moments where like they'd had this character they didn't have anything to do with and they just kind of shoved to the side.
I mean, I think it's disappointing because I thought Roxy was a pretty cool character. To have her just not really have a thing to do in the very end could have been handled better, but I don't know. I didn't take that as some sort of like slight on women as a whole. Well,
no, but like it's just when your film has like few female characters and then it feels like they can't be bothered giving her something to do.
That's probably it's probably a bigger problem just in like script writing as opposed to like gender equality or whatever.
Yeah,
it's written by Goldman and I think Matthew Vaughn. So Jane Goldman wrote X-Men: Days of Future Past.
And she wrote this as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know, and I mean it's based on I don't know. I mean I've not read the graphic novel.
Very loosely, by the way, very very loosely.
Very loosely. So I mean again I don't know. Like given the fact that it was co-written by a woman as well, I mean I don't know. Like I didn't really see it as a slight on gender either.
I don't think it's slight on gender. I just think it's a poor use of a good character.
I would agree with that.
So she'd have been involved more, but it's good fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Totally.
And yeah, like the same like with the way the violence is like turned up to like a comically stupid level. Like I thought that would be the same about the last gag. Like do that in kind of the most outrageous way you can.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it doesn't really feel that out of place.
So, Tommy, do you want to briefly tell us about Shaun the Sheep?
Based on the character from Wallace and Gromit, I think Shaun the Sheep's got its own TV show as well. But yeah, it's basically Shaun and the flock end up in the big city and then need to get back to the farm, and hijinks ensues. It might as well be a silent movie. There's no any dialogue, even from the characters are supposed to be humans. There's just a lot of kind of like when they're like mad at something, they just kind of like rabble, 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 rabble. But it's all of like physical comedy and slapstick humor. But yeah, I thought it was quite fun. And I mean, I do like Aardman, and there's something really quite like just nice about that kind of animation and whatever. And I don't know, I just think that it was maybe a bit too. I mean, to make it a feature-length film, I mean, it is pretty not the same joke, but you are watching the same kind of comedy. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. I did laugh at like a lot of bits.
How long is this film?
It's like an hour, just under an hour and a half, I think. But again, it is just very much like some of the jokes are really fun, some of the gags are really cool in it as well, and but yeah, kids will love it. It's very much. It is for kids, but like family members can enjoy it as well. But an hour and a half is quite a long for what it is. I mean, I can see the fact that it's a TV show. It's like maybe I don't know, like maybe 50-minute episodes, which is maybe why it's probably better suited for that. But yeah, no, I mean, all in all, I was entertained.
Yeah,
you do Wallace and Gromit films.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do Wallace and Gromit make a cameo?
Fuck, do you know? I don't know. I don't know. I maybe missed like 5-10 minutes of it. Maybe made a cameo at that point because I had to go do stuff, but I didn't remember seeing them. But the guy that created, the guy's like executive producer of Aardman, Nick Park, is it?
Yeah.
I think he has like a cameo himself, which is kind of fun. But yeah, like see that gag like you liked, I think when they're in the jail and like the dog is looking over it and there's just that crazy. Yeah, they do that. They do that for like a couple of times and it is quite funny. Yeah.
I only saw like 10 minutes of it, Tommy, and in that 10 minutes, even I thought this is kind of dragging a wee bit, like because it is all silent and it's like the humor is funny, but if I felt it was kind of wearing thin over 10 minutes.
It's a funny story, but there is just little nice touches that Aardman do, and you're just like, God, that must have taken fucking ages.
Like what Alan's saying there though, I think is like a kind of thing that Aardman does a lot. Like even in Pirates, which was generally good, it still dragged a fair bit.
Not quite. I don't know. I like
That
pirates.
Curse of the Were Rabbit is just so fucking boring. Like,
How does it compare to like the other like Arvin stuff? Because like from the trailer, this seemed to be a little bit more kid focused.
Well, I mean, that's it. It's because I think it is like it has its own kids' TV show, and it is mostly about farm animals, just kind of being farm animals. So I mean, it still has that kind of family feel to it, but yeah, it is. It's definitely the most kind of like in terms of Aardman, it's the one that this is mostly for kids. You know what I mean?
Because I mean, like Chicken Run was just a film about chickens, but like that was.
I haven't seen that. Is it good?
sorry.
I really like Chicken Run.
That again drags a bit. Oh well. But yeah, no, I liked Pirates and I like the Wallace and Gromit films, but yeah, it was fine.
I do not. I thought I might want to see this film, but after hearing that, I'm like,
You don't need to go to the cinema and see it, put it like that.
yeah.
No, it's more like, oh, we'll take the kids out, they can watch this, I won't be bored, it'll be fine. But in saying that, I still think it was more entertaining than the trailer for Home.
Yeah, that was rubbish.
Yeah,
What is that? I didn't know that.
it's the new DreamWorks one where there is an alien that comes to Earth.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, is that the one he looks like the most generic like kids alien design in the world?
Like purple
And
and
his little blob, yeah.
Yeah. It looks like you felt like something you get out of like a Kinder egg.
Totally right.
Yeah, I'm not excited about that. And the voice of the alien's really irritating, I think.
yeah, don't bother going to
That's
this.
David Cross, isn't it?
Is it David Cross?
Yeah, it's David
Oh
Cross.
dear. Oh.
It's not exactly like he's always great either, is it? Though he's very kind of hit or miss.
I actually only like David Cross as
And
Tobias
it's
Fuki. Yeah. I thought he was. I think he's very irritating in other things.
So Laura, me and you have both seen the interview.
Are we allowed to talk about it? Maybe get bombed.
Yeah,
It's-
it's on American Netflix if you. Sorry. It's on American Netflix if you have access to that.
Let's
It's,
get Kim Jong Un in the Google call. See what he thinks.
it's okay. You know.
I
Yeah.
mean, funnier than what? Not as funny as what?
Is it funnier than Bad Neighbours?
I don't think it was. No, I think I think I enjoy Bad Neighbours more than this.
Bad Neighbours is just alright.
Is it funnier than How High? Is that what it was called? No. What was
I've
it
not
called?
seen
What
How
was
High.
it?
Pineapple
Oh,
Express.
Your Highness.
Your Highness.
That's not
Oh,
funny.
it's
Better than
definitely
Your
funny.
Highness.
Yeah, Your Highness is terrible.
It's awful.
Is it funnier than Anchorman 2?
I luckily have not seen Anchorman 2 and I will not, so I do not want to.
It's more watchable. Like it's the thing that I thought was actually best about the interview was I thought the story was actually pretty good. Like that's like, you know, I just don't think the jokes really hit that well, but like the plot was enjoyable enough. It was nice and silly. I thought Franco was really irritating in it. I didn't really like James Franco in it at all.
Is he the so who is the interviewer and who's his stoner mate?
Franco is the interviewer. He doesn't have a stoner mate. He has Seth Rogen, who is his producer, who is actually good at his job and
Okay.
is like he's the straight man in this.
It's not full of stoner jokes from start to finish.
Nah, there's no stoner jokes in it.
No.
I know, right?
There's a lot of Lord of the Rings jokes in it.
There is, yeah.
James Franco loves Lord of the Rings, so he compares Seth Rogen to be his Samwise. So there's
And
a lot.
also has Gandalf and any other reference he can make.
Yeah,
to it.
any other reference he can make.
But,
I
it's
thought at that
okay.
point,
Yeah.
I wouldn't
watch.
necessarily say go out to the cinema and watch it. It's more of a sit in the house with your friends and have a giggle. I think the guy who plays Kim Jong-il is the best thing in this movie. He is
Yeah.
great. He is
Really?
having.
He was good, yeah.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He's really fun.
He's
And
in it
he's
a
all-
lot more than I thought he would be. Is he?
Hold on. Which one's alive now and which one's dead?
Kim Jong-un is alive.
And
Kim Jong-il is dead.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Kim
Oh,
Jong-un, the son, the current leader of North Korea. The guy who plays him is great. He's really, really good.
Who I learned from the movie is only 32 years old.
Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah, King Jong-il turned out to be a cockroach and then flew off on a spaceship.
Is that what happened?
That's right, yeah.
It's funny in the movie they're talking about the kind of crazy rumors about Kim Jong Un. That the Korean people are supposedly told. That kind of stuff's funny. And like it is actually kind of quite eye opening about the state of North Korea. I thought.
Well, do you think your eyes have been open to facts or movie facts?
Well, it is movie facts, but I think the movie does, like, if you don't know...
Oh,
and she's gone again. I think she definitely has the worst connection out of all of us.
Much anything that they are under, like, it's ridiculous.
And North Korea's got her.
And I think that for the kind of general public, I think it will be a wee bit educational, just kind of in like very broad strokes about how much control he has over the country and how like about they pick up on like potato famines. And when they first arrive to North Korea, James Franco and Seth Rogen get picked up by one of the ambassadors, who's the female, the lady in the trailer, and she's talking about how prosperous their country is, how much food they have, and they go past a shop with like a token fat kid outside licking a lollipop, and everybody.
Look how wealthy our country is. Look how happy everyone is.
That kid, like, we must have lots of food. And Seth Rogen is challenging her, like, oh, I thought there was a potato famine like a year ago. Like, what's going on? And it's very, very broad strokes, but it's enough that people will understand the kind of what the situation is in North Korea, and maybe go and investigate that if they are interested in it. I never thought I'd say that about a Seth Rogen, James Franco comedy, but it's broad enough strokes where you get the gist of what's going on.
Like it could have been like a kind of cutting satire, like, but it's just, I know it's kind of just dumb jokes, like, you know, don't put James Franco in it, don't have as many things in the butt jokes, and it would be a lot better, I think.
But that's what they do, though. Like, if it's not jokes, then it's like just like inappropriate images of dicks for no reason. Like, that's the film to go with it. Like,
so, like, you're saying no James Franco, but is Seth Rogen good?
I thought Seth Rogen's fine, but he plays the straight guy in it, like.
I didn't mind James Franco. Like, from what Paco is correctly saying, I don't know what you were expecting from this movie. It's very much their movie. Like, if someone else did this movie, it would be cutting and a lot more harsh. It's just that he becomes friends with the leader of North Korea.
That's funny. It's
like,
just,
that's funny.
I liked Franco and This Is the End, and I liked him in Pineapple Express, but just in this, he really annoyed me. I don't know.
What's your favourite North?
What's my favourite North?
it's in like North Dakota, North Korea,
North Pole.
So what? There's something wrong with you.
Short-lived Britpop band, Northside.
Nice.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
Yep. Okay, do you guys want to bring us on home then with your review of Jupiter Ascending? John Feely presents Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah. Woo.
Okay. Well, yeah, as you know, Jupiter Ascending was pushed back for a while, and we probably see it. But yeah, it's got Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis, Eddie Redmayne, BAFTA Award winner, and who else is in it? Oh, Sean Bean's in it as well. And
Does he die?
Yeah, so he doesn't know for a change. So basically, what it is, and it's written and directed by the Wachowskis. And what it is basically Mila Kunis, Jupiter Jones, is basically
Jupiter Jones.
Yeah, her name's Jupiter Jones, and basically what she is she's the heir to planet Earth, which has been squabbled amongst three siblings. That's
heir, H-E-I-R, by the way.
Yeah. Planet Earth, which again has been squabbled by this kind of galactic family called the Abraxas family, and they all head in different things, but they want to. There's this kind of conspiracy where they need Earth because of they're wanting to harvest it, pretty much.
They actually use the word harvest.
Yeah, so
they harvest the Earth.
Yeah, but Jupiter.
Where have you heard this before in a sci-fi thing?
Yeah, but yeah, Jupiter Jones basically she doesn't know that she's this she's got all this going on with her. She's just this janitor, who lives with their really, really unlikable Russian family. And
Mila Kunis plays a janitor. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like honestly,
Yeah.
it's like this is like a live action reboot of Cinderella.
Yeah, and so then what happens is, like the Braxis family find out that she is the heir to the Earth, and one of them sends bounty hunters after her, and the other one sends Channing Tatum to protect her, who is like a wolf, a genetically altered man who's got wolf DNA in him.
Yeah.
And
Which
isn't he also an albino as well?
What?
Isn't he also like albino or albino?
No, I don't think so. And then, basically, he finds Jupiter and basically explains, look, you're bred for better things, and I'm going to help protect you. So it's all about which Abraxas family is wanting her. Member of the Abraxas family wants her dead. But that's pretty much the gist of it. They've watched Soylent Green, Dune, Star Trek, Star Wars, Cinderella, and they've just basically chewed all this up and spat it out, and this is the Wachowskis presents this.
It's a mess. It's a fucking mess from start to finish.
It is an abysmal shit, terrible film.
There's a bit close, like on the posters and stuff before I saw this. Like I was kind of wondering why they had from the makers of the Matrix trilogy on it, and not just from the makers of the Matrix, because like no one really liked the sequels to the Matrix. So like reminding you that there was a trilogy was a bad move. But then when the movie starts like that, like first big action sequence was like, yeah, this is directed exactly the same as Revelations was, or Revolutions, or whatever the hell it was called.
Like. That's the thing. Like, it's very much. It's got the Wachowski. It's very much Wachowski's film. I mean, some of the actual bits in space reminded me of the segment they did in Cloud Atlas. Some of the action sequences, like Paco said, very Wachowski's. But yeah, like, and even like some of the design and like some of the space cities and the spaceships, they all look kind of cool.
But they look cool, but they don't look in any way original. Or
no, they don't look original at all. But the problem, again, what's happened here is kind of what Paco's talking about. With The Matrix, it was like, right, here's some money to make your fucking freaky internet movie or whatever, guys, but we're the producers and we're going to watch it and we're going to rein it in. And that's why The Matrix is so fucking great, because they had someone watching their back, and then it's like, oh wait, that was so amazing, make Reloaded Revolutions, there's a ton of money, and it's a bit of a mess. This is very much the latter of that, and that is, it is so messy, the dialogue is very bad, there's zero to little chemistry between Jupiter and Kane, even though they try and make that a thing.
Wow.
There's also not really any story arc to them, like for a girl who starts off cleaning toilets and ends up the owner of the world. Yeah. She does not progress as a character at all.
Yeah, not really. And then every now and then it's always like they try to show as if her and Channing Tatum are going to get together, but it's so forced and so bad. Like the actors are so badly directed, and like again, as I said, probably BAFTA winner, probably going to win the Oscar. Eddie Redmayne's performance in it. I loved it because it's so bad.
It was the worst thing about it.
It's so fucking over the top. He is very much like,
it's like one of our
mates, those who come near us. Yeah. It's like he's dying to take a shit for like.
Is he the one in the trailer that says like, I will burn that planet?
Imagine Palpatine try to take a shit, like, but he can't. That's what Redmayne's performance is. It's just Palpatine constipated. But I really enjoyed it to the point where I was like, right, what? Like, this film is terrible. Like, but I don't hate it because it's an unintentional joke. Because it's so bad to the point where you're like, I can only laugh at this, at how fucking rubbish it is.
No, it's just shit. It's not even that. Like,
I mean, it's not
even the right kind of bad to be a guilty pleasure. It's not like you'll watch that in the same way you would watch DOA.
No. DOA is very much aware that it's a joke. I think that's the thing about Jupiter Ascending is it
thinks it's a good sci-fi.
Yeah,
movie.
it doesn't know. Terrible. It doesn't know that it's bad. That's the thing. Is like, I mean, I think
so many points of it reminded me of John Carter on Mars. Like, it felt like I
like John Carter on Mars. I thought I enjoyed that though.
It wasn't like, even John Carter on Mars was more consistent and less messy than that film.
I know you're not a fan of Flash Gordon, but it's like, you know how Flash Gordon is really camp and over the top, but it's as if they don't really. They just go along with it, I think that's what Eddie Redmayne does, but the other actors aren't really going along with it because they are so. They look. I mean, there's at points Mila Kunis looks confused, like she doesn't really know what she's doing in it.
Well, she should look confused.
Channing Tatum is very much like, wait, all right, you want me to do that, right? Fine. Sean Bean's in it, and again, oh yeah,
I forgot Sean.
Yeah, and that's right. You know how like Channing Tatum is like a genetically modified human with wolf DNA. They show up to Sean Bean's house and it's like a big beehive. And you're like, what the fuck's this about? And Sean Bean's,
he's on Earth.
Yeah, he's on Earth. And Sean Bean's name is
like a beehive.
yeah, and his name is Stinger because he has bee DNA in him. This isn't really. There's no reason for that at all, apart from there's bees that hang about his house.
Bees apparently tell the truth as well.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Can recognise royalty. Mm-hmm. So, like when she shows up, that's how they find out she's the queen.
Yeah.
Because luckily he has his own bees, and all the bees
swarm
obey
around
her will.
Yeah.
Like she moves her hands, and the bees dance for her.
Yes, absolutely.
That sounds like a kind of dumb that I could probably get behind.
No, but this is the thing, Sean.
So
right?
bad.
There's loads of things where I'd be like, oh, it's so bad, it's good. It's not even good. That's the thing. It's not even good. When I say I liked it, I think it's because I'm just so amused at how fucking shit it is.
It must have cost them so much money.
Yeah,
because it's so terrible.
Because you were saying, Packer, like this is like the worst movie since Sharknado. Sharknado is very self-aware of how fucking rubbish and stupid it is. Jupiter Ascending is a big, expensive, unintentional joke. And it's definitely probably going to be the worst movie this year. I haven't seen. I mean, you were comparing it to I, Frankenstein. I haven't seen that. But yeah, this is fucking.
It's like
awful.
see the level of like just how much of a fucking stupid mess I, Frankenstein was. It's like that. It's like so much of it is just ridiculous. It's just bad. It's just a really bad movie. Like it's not meritless. Like it does look good. Hey, Sean, well done. But,
I mean, like whatever we weren't doing. We don't do big budget stuff like that. We did makeup and sort of small fixes. There's a Birdman. There's a guy with feathers in his face. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And there's like this point in the film that's like so out of place, where it's like a kind of a weird bureaucratic kind of disaster moment where like she's trying to get like her license to be the queen.
Yeah.
And like she has to go and get a passport, but they won't give her a passport until.
We've all been there though.
It's like 15 minutes long of just a really annoying looking android thing and her looking bored, and that's like, what the fuck is this in here for?
She's to get inaugurated into the fucking intergalactic Hall of Royalty or whatever the shit it is. But the point is, it feels like a Terry Gilliam movie at that point where, for some reason, they just treat it as if she's at the DMV. You know, that common joke of, do you know what's really terrible about queuing at the DMV? That's their basic thing of it, and there's no reason for it. It's as if they've like, right, this is the comic relief, and it's bad. Yeah. And they keep cutting back to a Russian family as if that's funny, but it's none of them are likeable, and there's no reason for them.
Somebody mentioned earlier on that they're not likeable, but further than that, they're also just the most out of place and fucking redundant thing in the film, which is already filled with fucking out of place and redundant shit.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to see like a really fucking abrasive, grating like a Eastern European family. Like it's like I don't want to see these people be assholes to each other.
Yeah.
Like at one point, her cousin tries to get her to sell her eggs. Like what? It's just fuck off.
This is going to be a huge flop, and I really hope that this is going to be a case of, right, Wachowskis, you can't be trusted with all this money anymore. You want to do a sci-fi thing, then we're going to be watching every
rein it in.
Yeah, we're going to be watching you every step of the bloody way.
I'd rather do with a reaction to a flop would be, let's work with you to sort of get the genius or whatever element made the first Matrix, and then kind of tone it down rather than, hey, you people don't ever work in Hollywood ever again. You know, like I hope a medium balance of control and sort of letting their imaginations run wild.
Well, they've already had one movie to fuck up. They've had the last two Matrixes. They had Speed Racer, which was fucking horrendous. I had a fit in the back of that.
Then Cloud Atlas though. And Cloud Atlas
Cloud Atlas is amazing, but I'm assuming that someone was holding the money and holding their hand and just being like, right, we'll give you the book, this is the book, read the book, talk to us about what you're going to do, we will discuss this. But left to their own devices, they are fucking horrendous, and they should know that by now. So
it wasn't just them that did Cloud Atlas. It was I think it was Tom Twicker. I think the guy's name is Twicker. I think it's the guy that directed Run Lola Run. But yeah, so I mean it was collaborative on that part. So maybe it's like, right, well that's a good idea.
That's just another like reinforces my point of like they can't be fucking trusted to do anything on their own.
Yeah.
Like even the Matrix, like I think the Matrix, looking back on it, is just okay now. It's very, very, very bitty and a bit mediocre.
Like, we're talking about like what was that? Like was that 2001?
99.
For a 99 movie, it's great, but looking back on it, it's still.
I still think the Matrix holds up. The Matrix 1 holds up.
I still think so as well.
No way.
I think The Matrix is still a fantastic film that, a bit like Austin Powers, is a victim of its successful
like other people ripping it off, yeah.
Yeah, like I think Austin Powers is still a really funny film, but like it's so difficult to watch it. Yeah, like the caricatures of it almost became more recognisable than the actual film.
It's hard to watch Trinity jump up and have the camera spin around her without thinking of like every other thing that's done that since then.
Yeah.
They still do it best.
Yeah.
The Divergent poster for Insurgent or whatever, that just looks like the scene from Reloaded where she's jumping out the window. It's so fucking shitty looking, where you're like, yeah, you remember the Matrix did it? It looked kind of cool.
Like one other thing we haven't mentioned yet as well is Channing Tatum's gravity rollerblades.
I didn't mention it.
Awesome.
Which he uses so often in the film, and it's clearly green screened and looks so fucking bad.
What? They're not real?
Like of course they're not real, Tom. No, just the fact that like the special effects for them in particular are fucking terrible.
I don't mind
and
that.
They show them all the time.
No, I thought that was actually alright. But yeah, but no, they can't fucking direct actors.
The film's just fucking bad.
Yeah, it's like, don't pay money to see this film. It's more like, right, knowing that it doesn't know it's a joke, right, but it is a fucking huge mess of a joke. Watch it with like a couple of cans, and you might be able to sit through it laughing a lot, but that's it. It's like, as I said, an unintentional comedy. But it's by no means good.
Well, you said that like Eddie Redmayne's performance is terrible. From the trailer, it looked like something I could get behind. Like his sort of like
desperate for a shit.
Lines.
That is it.
You might end up loving it because it is.
Yeah.
I know. I just kind of want to love it because you worked on it. But
okay,
no, his performance looked really eccentric. In a kind of funny way. You guys got a weird face as well, a little bit of a strange face.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, that'll wrap it up for this week's show. Next week, 50 Shades of Grey is out.
Yep.
Who's going to see that?
You know, I think I will actually go watch that.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Fresh box of Kleenex. Pervert.
Oh god. I'm on the search for this year's I Frankenstein.
And go and see it, Paco. Go and see it on Valentine's Day night and sit next to a couple.
Emily the entire time.
Alright.
Paco, I'm pretty sure I'm off on Valentine's Day. Let's go see it. It'll be well funny.
Cool. Back row.
Like lean over and kind of like punch the guy in the shoulder and go like, alright mate, you gotta see this as well.
Also, Peppa Pig and the Golden Boots is also out.
Oh, that's
then.
Which
The other romantic, sexy film of the year.
I don't care what the fuck your boots are.
Peppa is a she.
Right. So it's not pepper.
No, it's
Peppa.
Peppa.
Like salt and pepper.
That, yep.
This is what she does after the music's dried up.
Right.
Yeah.
Becomes a pig.
Yeah.
So yeah, join in next week again when I guess we'll be back at Paul's. Maybe someone will have seen 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know. Who knows? Sean, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'll be on the other side of the headphones listening next week. So I'll join you listeners next week.
And yeah.
Nice
And
hearing
so ends the great experiment.
Never again.
Man, I hope this sounds good when I rip the audio off of this. It probably won't.
It's absolutely not going to.
No.
Well, what am I doing? Because I don't know technology.
You're still doing it.
Am I? What's that, Sonny? It's the internet!